Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports.
You're like a circle that floats around me.
Team here, you all in the comments. Let me know what you all think. Poke some holes, right? Losh, size. He's much. Guys, thanks for watching. Losh. All right, time to go. Please tell the people the team that you back to, please.
Well, I can show you. That one right there.
God. I'm gonna edit that out in post, right?
Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion. We go live in 10. Number 9.
8. Yo! 7.
Number 6.
5.
Entry. Hey guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports. And of course, we are here to do a live watch along of Burnley Watford, and of course, try to preview game week 24 and any chip strategies, talk about game week 25 a little bit, and of course, game week 26, where everyone is excited to bring back a certain player. And I'm not alone today. For now, I have great company in Sankel from Understanding Football, and my great friend from Twitter, FPL Dallas. Thanks for coming through, mate.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for inviting me here.
Of course, man. Of course, it's your first time on the pavilion, so welcome. And how things, Dallas? How things? What time is it there now?
It's a little past noon right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we close to each other. It's now 2 p.m. here, so it's not too bad. Not too bad. Right? And Sankel is what? 11 o'clock by you? 11 p.m.
It's 11:30 in the night.
Right. So of course, guys, we're here to. Well, I'm here for my own selfish purposes. I just want to see my new signing, the Burnley striker, play with Corney, and if he's a good shout to bring in, right, Dallas. Right, I think that's a good shout. And of course, we want to just run through our plans for 24. You have any players in this game, Dallas?
Well, I did. I had Dennis. He was supposed to be in, but it turns out that that's not the case.
Yes. All right. So we won't talk about that too much. Don't worry. We don't rub salt in the wounds of anybody. We don't do that. We don't do that here. But I went for Pookie, right? I didn't feel the Watford thing. I went for Pookie. Right? And for guys, anybody that watches this show, a lot, y'all know I had Pookie since game week 2, sorry. So, yeah, I just didn't bother to bring in anybody. So, what we could do quickly, before we talk about our teams and whatnot, we could just run through, right, guys? We just run through the games to come, the fixtures to come, and who we think, what fixtures we think we want to tackle, right? So, Dallas, walk us through how you do it now so you get up. So, Tuesday is the deadline, yeah? So your deadline, you will get up early that day. I don't know how work is for you, or maybe Monday, you will take some time, 2 hours away, you'll hide from your family and friends. What is your strategy? What fixtures entice you there? What do you normally do? Walk us through a typical FPL decision for Dallas. How does that work?
Yeah, so I watched some of the podcasts, like the FPL Black Box. I watched yours, of course, and I watched Net That Hall, a lot of those guys, and then look at a lot of the underlying stats and the metrics, and determine who has, I guess, the best stats combined with the best fixture, and that's sort of how I decide captaincy. And just this past week for 24, I saw on Net That Hall that they want Jota as like the number 1 captaincy pick. And I was like, well, that works for me because I have him in my team.
Right, that was great.
And I know Leicester haven't been defending well, so I think he's one where I'm probably going to end up captaining him. I'm leaning towards that now. But yeah, just taking a look at these fixtures here, the standouts. Uh, I have there's also Bowen versus Watford, but I guess during this game it's important to take note whether or not Roy Hodgson has him playing a little bit more defensively. If he does, then that may look good on paper, but it may not turn out to be as good as it looks if Watford's just trying to lock it down.
Yeah.
And especially since West Ham kind of struggled against Kidderminster today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that one may not look as good as it does on paper right now. We'll have to see how the Watford adapts under Roy.
But to be fair, Dallas, this particular game is not a fair measure because they're playing against Burnley and Burnley's super defensive as well.
Yeah.
But Kone is there, the new striker is there. So yeah, it might be a decent opportunity to see how they are defensively. Yeah, yeah. Sanko, right? You wake up at some ungodly hour, right? And early. How early? How early you have to wake up, Sanko? I know it's crazy, right? How early you have to wake up for this? And while we're sleeping, you're up. And of course, before you go to have breakfast with the wifey and whatnot and prep for work. What's a typical FPL? What is Sanko? Which matches here, jump out at you? How are you tackling this game week? I know you said they're gonna. Well, no, tell people, tell them your plan. And you already gave me your plan. But go ahead.
So I am on my, I've triggered my wildcard for this week, game week 24. I just wanted to get ahead of the game.
Yes.
And having brought into Watford forwards, I was not happy with my team. And, it made sense for me to make those a bit of long-term changes at the same time, plan for the double game week, which is coming, right? Game week 26. So that entire planning is what I've started over the last couple of days, making various drafts, looking at what will be my plan, how will I navigate 26, 27, and then move back to 28, right? That's what I'm looking at. This week, the fixtures that stand out to me, something that I want to look at definitely is Newcastle versus Everton. Because Newcastle has brought in a lot of signings, right? Some of them are very interesting to see. Everton has a new manager, Frank Lampard, and a couple of new players as well, right? I feel, in the coming weeks, 27, 28 onwards, some of them might be good, punts, or some of them might help me make some other good moves, right? So that's one match that I'll be looking at definitely, trying to see how things work out. Today's match will give us, a flavor of Burnley. I know you have your own boy to look at. And obviously a lot of us are looking at, because I really like the player when he played at the Euros, and if he comes in, I think it's a good. Last year during this time, Burnley went on a rampage when it comes to attacking numbers, and Wood had picked up a lot of points, over the last 10 fixtures. If his replacement can do something of a similar nature, right, he will come as a good team addition for me. So currently I'm on a wild card, and Burnley do have, doubles coming up. So in case something, looks good, I can make those last minute tweaks to my team as well.
Yeah, yeah. Solid, and I'm set with that as well. So what I want to do, what we normally do, right? I like to run through each of the fixtures and just talk about the key players that may feature for this game. Just now Watford on a decent little run here. Okay, no, not anymore. Right, so I like to just run through each fixture. Now you highlighted a great fixture there. The first one, that Newcastle Everton. I'm very keen on that, right? I may even try to bring in a player. I had Calvin Lewin, but of course he's injured, so I'll have to ship him out. But I am very keen. I'm looking at maybe Van de Beek or even Dele Alli, right? Because I think those are some good points. I think they will slot right in one time, and this is something that Everton need a little lift in the midfield. Especially with the Curry. The Curry needed that other assistance on that Allen. So a midfield of Gray, the Curry, not even Gray will play up top. So let's say the Curry, Allen, Townsend, and then you're saying Van de Beek, and then you're saying Dele Alli. That's madness. And then Calvert Lewin to come back. I think he might be back in about 2 more weeks' time. I think he's not in light practice right now. And then of course with Richarlison up top, Gray and Gordon's playing well. So I don't know. But Newcastle, on the other hand, they have also brought in some decent assets as well. So Chris Wood, I guess, to be on the end of some crosses from St. Maximan and hopefully Shelby and of course Willock. Then of course they have Trippier in the back. So not too bad at all. You know, they beefed up the team a little bit. And of course Target, right? Target I think as well went across to Newcastle as well. Very interesting. If you had to pick one player, Dallas, from each team, who you think, just as if we go on a randomly punt on a random player.
Yeah, so one player from each team. If I had to pick for Newcastle, I'd probably say Saint Maximin because he's, I guess, the talisman. He'll have like a high goal involvement, so he'll be able to probably put players on roller skates, as they say, and just either probably do some key passes or get a few chances at goal. And from Everton, I would say probably Richarlison, actually. And that's mainly because with DCL out, I think Richarlison's probably going to demand penalties back. Because we know that he didn't want to give them up last time.
Yep.
And with the new manager, if they get a penalty, he's going to want to take it. And then he'll say, next time DCL's on the pitch, he'll say, well, I scored my last one, so hopefully this new Frank Lampard manager is going to let me keep them. So he'll be trying to win a penalty. He'll be trying to take multiple shots. He'll be all over the pitch, I think, making things happen.
What about that new manager Bounce? You think that's going to have any kind of effect on this NOE game? What do you think?
It might have an effect on the attack, I think. For the defense, I'm not sure if it will, which is probably why this is a good game for to get attackers. Because Newcastle and Everton, they're not really that great on defense, either one. And Frank Lampard is more of a guy who kind of galvanizes the attack. But as far as the defense goes, I think they'll still be leaky, and it's going to be open. Both teams will probably be going for it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go on to the next game there. Thanks there. So Sam, let me know if you had to give one player from each team. I'm not giving you a hard one here, right? West Ham versus Watford. Who you think? Who you punting?
West Ham, I think it's the easy one, right? Bowen is in complete form, and he's the pick for me. I've seen a lot of people discussing, captaincies out for him as well. I feel it's an interesting choice. Not a bad one. They are at home. They play Watford, right? While how defensive they are, I think tonight we'll get to know. But at home, I would still trust, West Ham attack, right? When it comes to Watford, I think the duo remains. For me, it's King. I feel the numbers are there. It's just time for him to capitalize. It's just that earlier coach kept on swapping these two around when it comes to positioning. Right, Dennis sometimes came in, King went wide. But we know that the new coach is a bit of a traditional manager, so I expect King to cover those central areas and be there as a lookout to score, and he has the penalties as well.
All right, solid. So our next one here is a very interesting one, a very enticing one. We have Burnley versus Man U. Now, I don't know why. If this game goes well for Burnley and Burnley could get some goals under the belt in this game, I think Man U are in trouble because Man U are not looking good at all. At all. They struggled yesterday and they played a full team. They basically we cannot use the other cups. Right? I don't like to do that. I don't like to watch the other cups and then say, right, just because a player did well here, he's gonna light up in the FPL. No, it does not ever work that way at all. But they did play a full strength team against the team that's seventh in the championship and struggled, and then eventually got knocked out. Right, all the big boys. Today, a certain player that I am not a fan of, Mr. Penalty. Right, so my future captain for giving me 25 one goal. Not looking good, Dallas. Not looking good at all. Right, but I will go the safety route in this game. This game could go 0-0. And I will always go with the Burnley defenders on of Corney is back, so I think they could take advantage of Manu, but it's still Burnley at home. You have to remember that. Even though they have Corney, they will still play defensively and try to hit them on the counter. So I think maybe a safe shout, and of course from Manu, the even safer shout might be Dallo. Anyone in the wing backs or so maybe could get an assist. Maybe it might be Jadon Sancho time, maybe, but I am gonna stick with Bruno. I have him, but I will just say maybe Talo, Dalo, or maybe as I said, maybe Sancho might be a decent punt because this game might be a little more open than we think because both teams have to go for it. They have, especially after this game, we will know where Burnley is in the relegation zone, so they have to go for it. All right, Dallas, you want to tackle this next one first? City Brentford. What? First of all, how many City assets do you own?
I have two. I have Foden and Cancelo. And so
not for
yeah.
yeah. Now talk to me. So who you backing out of those two then? Who you will say? Well, okay, forget Cancelo. You're backing Foden for this game.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he can kind of get those regular FPL returns and getting into those central areas that we've been kind of seeing before. I know he played today and he didn't get on the score sheet. I actually wasn't able to catch that game against Fulham for the FA Cup, but I'm thinking that he has the quality to get back in it. And Brentford, I watched some of the Everton versus Brentford game today, and I know it's the FA Cup. You can't ever deduce stuff like that, but Brentford have been kind of leaky for a while now.
Yeah.
And City are one of the best attacks in the league. And so I think I am backing Foden and Cancelo to probably get one return each. I'm thinking, and if you also have him, Kevin De Bruyne is definitely someone that you can go for.
Captain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for coming through, Dan. How you doing, Dan? I do not need no king. Oh, but yeah, I wish you all the best, all king owners. I wish you all the best. All right, Dan, I'm going to talk about my controversial take soon, Dan, very soon, about not bringing in Salah, but we'll talk about that. Right, so yeah, Dallas, sorry to cut you.
Okay.
And for Brentford, I didn't catch you on for Brentford. Who you think might be decent for Brentford?
I don't know if I would recommend bringing in anyone for
Right,
this
that's
game.
fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. If you don't wanna, if you have no one to, if you recommend them, well, don't bother at all. But
if you had to bring someone in, I guess you would bring Tony because of the penalties. So it's probably the only one, but I probably wouldn't go there.
But City have been leaky, and Brentford have been scoring some very weird goals as of recent. So, right. But yeah. Okay, Sankalp, you want to take? Oh, maybe I should take this next one since no, but no. Go ahead, Sankalp. This next one here. I'm
I
very
just
intrigued.
wanted to add.
Of course.
When we are discussing Brentford, I think one thing we might have missed, is the return of Christian Eriksen, right? Such a great player, and it's it feels so happy to see him coming back to a football field, right? I know he'll not jump back into the team, and I think they will carefully manage his minutes and all. But as a player, it will be interesting to see, even for those limited minutes, how he affects, because I think Brentford really lack a player of his caliber, also in those central areas, right? Tony often has to drop deep, and if Christian Eriksen starts playing in those areas, I think Tony becomes a better asset as well.
Yeah. Well, I was going to talk about him later on in the team selection, but yes, because, and as you rightfully said, Tony is suffering right now because all the good chances fall to Embuemo or Canos or Yanels. If half of those chances fell to Tony, I'm telling you, right now everybody will have Tony, right? So I think now that they have someone, but as you said, his minutes will be limited, of course, with the heart condition. But it's great to see that he's back and can play because a lot of players that can't continue. Example Aguero. So we're glad to see that he can still continue, and I am very anxious to see what he does. The only reason I don't punt on him is because his minutes will be limited. But I am tempted, once I see a few games, tempted to maybe bring in, if he links well with Tony, I might be tempted to bring in Tony for Watkins, because Watkins right now is just wasting time on my team. So I am very tempted to bring in. So if I'm tempted, I'm watching that for sure. I'm keeping a close eye on that. And this is a nice test for him. But I doubt he will start. He might most likely maybe come on last 15 or so. And he can crack a good shot from far, so he might test Edison out. So there's always that to look out for. Sanko, Norwich, Crystal Palace, and why should we captain Cookie? Talk to us. Ignore that.
I think one thing's for sure, once they have got their the King yellow card, I saw a
Pick up
notification.
Javed all the time. Right? Now that's good for me so far, right? Keep it up, King.
Yeah, I don't have him either, so
Yeah, that's good.
it sounds good to me.
Yeah, tell her.
I just feel good that I've sold him on a wildcard. That's all.
Yeah.
So when I talk about Norwich and Crystal Palace, I feel Edward is a player that a lot of us have skipped out on, and he is giving points on a semi-consistent basis. Given his price bracket, I think he's an interesting player to look at when it comes to Crystal Palace. And you also have Olis, right? Who today also I think had a goal and an assist in the FA Cup match. Very interesting, character. Very interesting player. Has the grey vibes, right? Like Everton have their own grey, and Bowen for West Ham. I think is a very similar set of player. A lot of explosiveness. When I talk about Norwich, I think Norwich has been a decent squad, under the new manager, right? I think they have done a lot of good work, stabilized the team a bit. So I don't feel like, attacking a Norwich fixture anymore, especially considering the fact that it's a home fixture for them. Pookie, deserves us out. I'm sure he deserves us out. At the same time, they've got a new forward, 4.5, I think
Yeah.
4.5, 4.7, right? The guy who scored a brace in the last match.
Oh,
Sam,
Sergeant. Yeah. Yeah. I
so,
wouldn't punt on Sergeant. I'll more punt on either, but yeah. Sergeant. Yeah, Sergeant decent. And Crystal Palace one. And they're gonna say Gallagher, but why Gallagher?
so for me, it's going to be the striker,
Right.
Edward.
Yeah. I
I
like that.
feel, when it comes to teams like Norwich, right, you have to punt the striker because he has the best chance.
Alright, so Javed have a question here. Guys, if you had to choose one for the next two fixtures, Mares, Foden, or KDB? KDB any day for me without even thinking. Any day.
Same. I
Yeah,
have him on my wildcard draft.
Yeah.
I have him, set as a captain for the next match as well. I think it makes
But
sense. He's one good fan.
but I am cautious. Now the only let me see, that's now. So today, July 8th, yeah. Up just before Valentine's Champions League, yeah, KDB, all day. Because when Champions League starts, that is when I will be wary of KDB and start to monitor how Pep, because Pep, he likes to overthink. So for now, yeah, I will definitely jump on the KDB train. Mares will be post Champions League. He may get to play more games with Champions League. Foden, I think, will play more league. Yeah. Right, but Champions League. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but is he starting? He's not starting as often, eh? Yeah, but he's not starting. That's the only problem with Maris.
Mahrez is a player who, looks attractive after every international break. And,
Yeah,
once you get into it, you just cannot get out of it.
yeah. I will bring him in on my Champions League team. I think he's already on my Champions League team because, yeah, I'll do that, but not for now, not for FPL. I wouldn't risk it because he's not going to start. Right now, the sure starter right now is Bernardo, sadly. Sadly, Bernardo is a mean, but he's not bringing in the points that he was in the earlies, right? He's not. But to answer your question, KDB and Captain KDB too, right? So,
yeah. I think out of the three, KDB for sure. The only advantage that Foden has over him right now is that he's way cheaper. So if you need the money for another move, then he's probably decent. I guess the only thing about Foden is that he could possibly be saved more for the Champions League
Mm-hmm.
because I think on the 12th of February is when City play Norwich,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really need to start Foden for that game. They could really
Mm-hmm.
just kind of save him for Champions League.
Exactly.
Whereas KDB,
Exactly.
I think, has a probably better chance to start. So I have
Mm-hmm.
Foden, and I'll be
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to the news on what people think will be the starting lineup for City. There's actually like a website called 11FI, and they predict who is going to start for City each game week, and they have an expert panel of predictors, and they also, I guess, gather data on minutes and a bunch of other background information, and they, based on that, they predict on who's going to start, and usually they're pretty good at predicting. So I'm going to keep an eye on a
All
lot of
right,
that
all right.
to
Say
see.
that one more time for me there, Dallas. 11 of 5. I'll try and bring that up. Or you
I
can
think
share the
it's
link in the private chat and I'll bring it up.
I think it's called 11ify.com. ELEVENIFY.
Right, I'll check that out and I'll bring it up just now. I'll share it on the screen just now. Ah, okay. Interesting. All right, I'll bring it up just now. Cool. Yeah, but for now, well, what do we do, Dallas? We have a wheel, and we use a wheel to pick the one city asset, and it's been okay-ish so far. It's been accurate so far because that is how I think that's how Pep picks his team for real. He puts Edison, Cancelo, Bernardo, and then right the rest on
Yeah.
a wheel. Right? That's
Yeah.
exactly what Pep does. Right? But yeah, Javed, KDB, because those two guys, those other two guys are Champions League assets. It's exactly what Dallas said there. Because for Norwich, Pep is gonna play like Chinko and Ake and those guys. So yeah, he's gonna rest players. He might bring in what's this guy named the young player? He played really well on his debut. I forget his name. A young trying to remember his name right. I think he played a few games ago in the midfield. He was pretty good. I think he even scored. I think he even scored towards
Was
the
it
end of the
Delap?
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you might bring in those guys for Norwich, right? But of course, KDB will start. I think so. All right. So we have Tottenham versus Southampton. This is a nice one. This is a nice one. I think Son should be back soon. If not this game, the next game. Right? I think so. Right? Yes, Dan. Yes, Dan. Dan. Don't. I remember when Watford were playing Norwich and Dennis got the red card, right? I laughed. I wouldn't like to know. It wasn't out of spite. It was just so like, wait, what? I didn't even expect it coming. I saw the yellow. Saw the yellow. I was like, wait, what? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But now I'm not wishing that on you guys. Right, Dallas? We're not that bad. We're not wishing that on you guys. We just don't
No,
want
no,
them to
no. That
go.
was
Yeah, yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
terrible pain that I
yeah,
just
yeah.
never want to feel again.
Yeah, exactly. Right? This is wow. This is it will be peak FPL. This is a typical day in FPL. If King comes and gets a red card, and then Ben Me scores a goal or some kind of man like that, and Burnley win. That'll be peak. So of course, Spurs playing Southampton now. Of course, I was checking out the FPL injuries. You know, that's the Premier League injuries. That's the site that we use to get our information. And Son should be back very soon. Right, his potential return is this weekend. He's 75% fit, so there may be a chance that Son um, me just get maybe a last few minutes or even start this game. We know he's a machine, right? If that is true, Sankal, does that change any plans for you at all? Are you anxious to bring Son in on meh? I'm cool for now.
I have him on my draft.
Humbly
I think
apologize.
when you look at the fixtures, right? Spurs is one team which has consistent fixtures from now till game week 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are very few teams which don't have, which have good matches and then they don't have blanks, right? Liverpool, you have one blank in between, right? Arsenal have good fair double game week, but they have a couple of blanks, right?
Thanks, yeah.
So there are very few teams which you can, very few players you can put and forget. And Sun is such a player, right? If you're not looking at him as a captaincy option, if you are keeping another premium player with you, then I feel Sun is one of the best set and forget options in FPL. currently,
Yeah.
right? Which most of us always forget, and then we jump back once he starts doing well. So this time I just want to be ahead of it. I'll just take Sun, keep it. I see his matches, most of them look good except the City match, which again is part of a double game week, so it's okay, right? I can take that part. So Sun for me is a player to watch out for, but one player that I feel will do well in this setting is Kane, because I think Harry Kane has started getting his form back.
Yes.
Conte has been able to, get that link with the fullbacks, with the midfielders. That link has come back for Kane as well. So I expect Kane to do well, especially in this match.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you jump on the Sun train early, Dallas, or you want to wait to see? Or you're good. You're rather KDB, you're rather Salah. Talk to me.
Well, I was thinking about it because for my team, I need to use a transfer in game week 25 because I want 2 free transfers in game week 26 to downgrade Ronaldo and upgrade Madison to Salah. But I need then, as a result, I need to use a transfer in 25 or else I lose one of my 2 free transfers in game week 25. And one of the transfer, I'm struggling because I don't know an obvious move. And I guess one of the moves was maybe to do Foden to Son. If I'm thinking that Foden won't play that Norwich
Yeah.
game, if I'm thinking he
Right.
might rest. I guess the only problem though is I think Spurs were playing Wolves during that week, and Wolves is a really, really good defense.
Tough game. Yeah.
So I guess that gives me a little bit of pause. Plus one of the doubles being City, but then the other double is Burnley, which is pretty decent. So
And the Wolves match is at home, so both the matches for them are at home.
yeah, that's good. I think yeah, that makes a difference too.
Yeah, and it's just good to tackle a game week, as Dan will say. Dan will always say that, tackle the game week. I didn't this time, but I'm definitely going to tackle some game weeks coming up there. Of course, for Southampton, I guess the most informed right now, we can talk about Brozier. I normally like to talk about Che Adams. I like Che Adams a lot, but Brozier is a cheap. No, he's a cheap enabler too as well, right? So we can bring him in and can help with some of the big moves for game week 26. But I know a lot of people want to bring in Salah. Again, I'm not inclined to do so yet, but we'll talk about that coming out. Right? I'm really not excited to do that right now. But yeah, so we can move on to Villa Leeds. Dallas, what do you think? Just give us one player each. The Villa Leeds. Now Villa, I think Villa are the kings of the transfers this season in spring. I don't know what you think. They did some really good business. Now, of course, it's only good business if it pans out and works out. But so far, Digny has worked out. Coutinho has worked out. So just to see if Target suits. Sorry, not Target. If these are you lose me right now.
Dean?
But of course,
Dean?
yeah, Digny and
Yeah.
well, Digny and Coutinho pan out already, right? So just to see if they keep it consistently. So yeah, who you think for Villa and Leeds?
So I think this one, I think Leeds are still pretty leaky, and Villa have looked a lot better. So I think they'll probably be in store for a few goals.
Right.
I guess the question is whether or not Leeds can probably score. And I think they'll probably score maybe one goal. But this sounds more like a 3-1 Villa win type of game.
Okay.
But for my sake, I'm kind of hoping that Leeds don't score because I have an Aston Villa defender, and his name is not Luca Dean. His name is it's Matty Cash.
Right.
And the reason why I have him is because I brought him back probably, I don't know when it was, like 7 or 8 weeks ago, it seemed like, back before Luca Dean was even being linked to Villa. I brought him back in, and because I knew that Villa were going to improve under Gerrard and going to have some of those doubles coming up, and they don't have any doubles yet. Possibly 27 is what I've heard, but it depends on FA Cup results. But I brought in Matty Cash, and then a few weeks later, Luca Dean joins, and I'm like, oh, like, man, if he had joined earlier, or well, he couldn't have joined earlier because that was
Yeah.
before the window. But it's like if I knew he would have been there, then he'd be the one I want. But now I don't want to make a sideways move from Cash to Dean. I think I'm just going to stick with Cash for now.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. I don't think any sideways move makes sense, right? And while Dean obviously, has that extra, potential when it comes to assists as well as attacking potential.
Mhm.
At the same time, he also has a yellow card potential, right?
Yeah.
Something that Cash does not have, right? So you can take solace in that and stick to him.
I think if Matty Cash were to score like a 30-yard rocket to the top corner, I'd be screaming. I'd be like, "Yeah, that's my pick." I'll be saying, "I knew that. I told you guys, Cash over Dean all day."
That's how it works. That's definitely we will love that. That reminds me of a certain West Ham defender everyone bought. What was the name? Craig Dawson.
Oh,
Everybody ran it. Remember that song? The whole of Twitter. Dawson.
I was on Twitter around that time, and everyone was like, "Oh, Craig Dawson," and I'm like, "Do you guys realize that you guys forgot that this is Craig Dawson, right? Like, you're bringing this guy in, and you forgot who he was. This is Craig Dawson."
No thanks. Bowen or nothing. I don't think any other West Ham. I had Antonio for the right amount of time. I think I kept Antonio until what boy? Game week 18. A very long. And this is game week 1, and all the way to 18. I think that's loyalty. He did his job. Bowen now until Bowen drops in form. Hopefully he doesn't. Right. So I guess so for you. You're saying Cash and of course Rafinha for Leeds. Rafinha might score that 1 goal in your score prediction.
Yeah. I guess my score prediction was 3-1 Leeds, but my hopeful prediction is 3-0. Or my score prediction was 3-1 to Villa. But I'm hoping it's 3-0 to Villa. I guess if I had to choose, because Villa would score 3 goals, I guess I would say probably Watkins, because I think on FPL Black Box not too long ago they were saying that he had around double the amount of penalty area touches than the next closest Villa attacking player since Gerrard took over. So he's getting in the positions to score, and I think he's looking lively. He probably needs to add a few goals to that tally, and hopefully he will in the coming weeks. I have him too, so I'm hoping he does well.
No, I hope the thing. I hope it. I can't say that I have Watkins right now, but as I say, I have plans to drop him, but I'll expose those plans in a bit. But based on what you're saying, yes, and I am tempted to see it maybe link up now with Digne, link up with Coutinho on a consistent basis. Coutinho may start games now. He may not finish them, but he may start them. So yeah, I'm curious about that. So of course we have Liverpool, Leicester. Now Leicester, as we know, defense is really leaky, but they are very unpredictable to call. Daka is scoring. Nacho should be back by now. Valverde's still out, sadly, right? But Madison and Barnes is actually contributing as of recent. We still have Tillemans. The defense, as I said, very, very leaky, but they still procure some assists. Pereira is back in form. So this could be a really good game. No Salah maybe and no Mane maybe, but they were teasing that they may be back in time for this. But that is evil. That is evil. Pure evilness. They should rest. Ideally, rest for this game, right? Ideally.
I think it's possible that they're on the bench, but
yes.
they probably won't start.
That'd
be crazy. I think if they were to start like right away, especially Salah after playing like 3 matches in a row, 120 minutes. So I know that his fitness is fantastic, but if he is back, then I would assume that he's on the bench for that.
Yeah, and we know he's not a player that likes to shirk responsibility and not play. He would love to play. We know that. Ooh, that's a crazy chance there.
Whoa!
Yeah. Oh wow! Watford almost scoring a really funny chance there. Out of nothing, right? So yeah, this one who we looking at? Liverpool, Leicester. So no Salah, of course. So Jota. I know, and they was talking about Jota. Sanka, what do you think about this game?
My eyes
I
are on the defense.
right.
Both Trent as well as Robertson have been looking
Mm-hmm.
good and
Mm-hmm.
good. More and more. Attacking as well as the potential is always there for them to outscore any of the forwards, right? Unless Salah comes in straight to the squad, I feel I am really interested to see what Robertson can do in this match.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to cause controversy. Trent or Robo?
I am thinking of a double, because Trent,
No, no, not
almost
that.
everyone has.
No, that's not asking you. No, 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 no. Who's the better player, Trent or Robo?
Ah,
Controversy.
oh, it's such a difficult question, right? Two very different players. My favorite remains Trent for sure.
Okay, okay,
His
okay.
vision is out of the world.
All right, that's the correct answer. Dallas, Trent or Robo?
Yeah, so I'm actually a Liverpool fan,
Nice, nice.
and I would say Trent, because he's he's probably the best attacking right back in the world. And the free kicks, all the set pieces, they're always high quality. And yeah, I mean, for FPL, I think you have to go with Trent because he has a nose for goal or getting those crosses in the box. Robertson does too, but Trent is just it's hard not to have him. It feels
Yeah,
like.
no, it's mad, it's mad, it's mad, it's mad. So, of course, I will throw it out there and say for this game, I think Robo or Jota might be decent picks for this game. And I know right now the narrative, everyone is saying they're going for the double up. Because before the double up would have been Diaz Cancelo or Laporte Cancelo, right? The City double up. Now the Liverpool double up is looking enticing, especially to where game week 26 is coming up very soon and they have a double game week, so it'll be cool. If you get one clean sheet, if you have Trent and Robert, you get a clean sheet there. Whew. And if you one of them assists, just one, right? You're on fire. And then if you bring back Salah, if you're so inclined. So I'll punt on the Robo. And of course for Leicester, I'll punt on Daka. Because sadly, the big teams are not defending well and they are conceding goals and Daka is scoring. And you never know Daka could put something past Alisson. Alisson has not been he's not been terrible, but he has been leaking a few goals here and there. What do you think?
Yeah, for Leicester, I guess. Well, I actually have Madison in my team right now,
Right.
and he's been doing pretty well. I guess I'm thinking if I'm want to bench him though, because
Mm,
when you go to Liverpool at Anfield, I mean,
yeah.
it's really challenging, and I think they'll have a pretty strong squad. I know that Harvey Elliott and a few others are coming back from injury,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. I think I just expect Liverpool to play really well. It's possible that they could concede, but I don't know if I see like them conceding a bucket load of goals.
Right. Right.
And I have a lot of other players, I guess, that might do well that week. And so I'm thinking about benching Madison. But if you were to go for a Leicester attacker, then I would say probably him because he's kind of been a talisman for them, and his underlying stats have been pretty good. He's been on fire lately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if anyone
Yeah.
wanted to start him in that game, I'd understand. But it definitely does seem like a little bit of a tough task there at Anfield.
So I mean, yes, Liverpool by itself, the cup by itself is a fortress, but you still think without Mane and Salah, this tricky Leicester team might not to win, but you don't think they'll push them too much. You think you'll still have enough firepower. Because we talk about Jota, Minamino is fit, Ox fit-ish, you have Firmino, Fabinho is doing well. He's on penalties, shockingly. It's just the defense, where your defense not too hot right now. Not too hot. But I'm with you. But still, I can still see a goal. I can see. What's your
Yeah.
score prediction there? What do you think?
Let me think. Uh, 2-0 Liverpool.
Oh wow, that's a bold-faced prediction there, Sanko. Very prediction, very bold-faced. All right, well, moving on, Sanko. Well, we will spend about 20 minutes on this one, Sanko, because Wolves playing the greatest team in London, right, Sanko? The greatest team in London, right? Dallas, if you didn't know, if you haven't been paying attention to my tweets, I am an Arsenal fan. Sanko is also an Arsenal fan, right? We back the greatest team in London, right? Don't at us. Said what we said. So, Wolves, tricky game going to Molineux. Arsenal, no transfers, but this is not that kind of show, so I'm not trying to get you upset, Sankup. Don't get upset. But no transfers, nothing to go with, no strikers. We have bare minimum strikers, Sankup. Bare. Two, right? Two strikers.
Exactly.
In Eddie and Lacazette, if you want to count Martinelli, if, right? But I don't. And if you want to maybe throw a Hail Mary there, Saka, but he's not. How are we doing this, Sanka? Against one of the best defenders, the best defensive teams right now in at least what the last 5 games or so. Even if they do concede, it's just one goal, one goal, one goal. Ooh, that's a tricky call for handball there, right? So how are we doing this one, right, Sanka? First of all, let's talk about Wolves. For me, I'm sticking with Cody and Sa. But talk to me, because I have Cody and Sa on my team. Talk to me, Sanka.
I think towards the end of Jan, right? Our players were mostly tired, right? Because we just have a 11 set 11, right? Who plays, and even Arteta does very late substitutions, right? Most of our players play 80 to 90 minutes for sure, right? So one thing is for good, we got a 2 week break, right? So players have got back, the energy, right? Saka, Martinelli,
Right.
they were looking very tired in the Burnley match, right? So I
Yes.
expect them to come back with the energies recharged, right? From what I've read, we have been trying Martinelli out in this, center forward position
Hmm.
because now that you have Smith Rowe back and he was playing as a, left winger before he went out injured and Martinelli came in. So it's a possibility that we see, front three of Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Saka, right? Which will be interesting, especially looking at the Wolves team, because I think the Wolves team do play a bit of a high line, right? If you play Laka against this team, it might not be as effective as with the other teams. If you play with three fast forwards, we would be pinning the three defenders up, right? Uh, I would always rate Arsenal. I think we do have a chance. The team is good because the first exercise is good. This is the first match after the break. I would say we can do well. I still expect us to score goals, but on a longer note is something that we'll have to look at. Is consider the fact we don't have any replacements on the bench, right? How do we manage it? Whether we can manage it well, it's something to be seen on a longer note. For this match, my eyes will be on Martinelli,
Mm-hmm.
especially if he plays as centre forward.
Mm-hmm. Fully agree. Before we continue there, just want to, so of course, halftime, guys. So nil-nil. Great for us, Dallas. Great for us. It
Yeah.
can stay like this, right? It can
Hmm.
stay like that, right? Brilliant, right? Right now, I'm on 169K. I am taking I know I'll drop a little bit because he might make 2 points if it stays this way. I don't mind, but yeah, I didn't want him scoring a hat trick, Dallas, and then killing my rank, Dallas, right? Didn't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
that. So these rank killers because when we will go on live the field and we will see King name Killer. And we didn't want that, right?
No.
So right. So getting back to the fixture, so now I have Martinelli and I'm considering benching him. I'm really not sure yet. I'm really not sure yet. But as you rightfully said, they're rested now because they were shattered. But that's the problem. With the next few games now, right? We have no subs. We have no strong subs to come on. I don't know if Pep is ever going to see a field again. We do Pepe, sorry, if Pepe is ever going to touch a field. Maybe he might be desperate enough now to play him. But the thing with Wolves, what I will say, as much as Wolves have been very defensive, their midfield and strikers have been poor, right? They have not been consistent in the past 2 games in the sense that if Jimenez scores today, he's not scoring for the next 2 games. Podence might score, then maybe Trincao. But it's so varied, right? That it's not structured enough that where the same person is contributing goals. So it could be a game where it's 0-0. I can see a 0-0 or a tight 1-1. Right, Uncle? And as I say, I'm comfortable keeping Cody and Sar on my team. I'm not frightened. What do you think about that, Dallas? Bold or not?
I was actually thinking it could be 0-0 as well. This kind of feels like it could be that kind of game because I feel like a lot of games that Wolves play, I automatically assume a low score because they haven't really been quality in front of goal, and the defense seems like it's been one of the best.
Yeah.
And I think Ait Nuri has come in too recently, and he's done fantastic. And he might just keep that place. So he's probably a good one to go for if you would want a Wolves defender. But I actually had Guaita in my team not too long ago, and I was exploring options to get a cheaper goalkeeper in for him, but didn't really find anyone I liked. So I kind of changed my strategy, and I just stumped up for Saw. So I have him in my team now because I wanted someone who was a nailed goalkeeper and just plays for one of the best defenses in the league. And he wasn't even that expensive either. So I'm like, I think it's fine to get him, just stick him in there and set and forget on goalkeeper, and he'll be good. So, and for Arsenal, I do have Martinelli also, and I think I'm leaning towards benching him just because it's going to be at Wolves, and it is one of the better defenses. So my bench this week is probably as of now, it could change, but it's probably going to be Martinelli, Madison, and Cucurella, who doesn't have a game this week, but is going to be key for next week.
Correct. Correct. Very key. Right. That's a good show there. Well, I had Saw since game week a long time ago, so and he has not let me down. I was forced to keep him on because I have Raya as well, as you were seeing a bit. And great news, Penny Raya. People or fans like me, Raya played today, so he's back in the fold. If he'll be back in the league is a different story, but he was back. So that's good to know there. So we finished here with the fixtures. What we want to do? We could talk about any potential transfers. So I'll put my team up on the screen and we could use my team as a mock-up, right? So I already have it in the transfer realm here, right? So let me show it regularly first, right? So what I plan to do, guys, right? This is where the controversy starts. And if I lose subscribers, if you want to just jump off the stream, that's fine. But I am not bringing this up for a while, right? And what's a while? A while could possibly be game week 28, maybe, or not even, right? I will bring him in, but not now. Maybe when the 30s or so, right? So let me explain the madness, right, Dallas? Before you jump off the stream and run away and unsubscribe and block me off Twitter, right? So the plan. So as you can see, Fernandez, Bernardo. Now I have Mount as well. So let me put it in transfer form so you can see all the players easy, alright? I'm gonna make sure. Alright, you'll see it, alright, good. So here the plan. So what I plan to do, as you can see, I have a few sussers in my team that I need to get rid of. So the plan is, so far initially, I'm looking at probably taking a -8, right? Now, I've never done those things before. Last week was the first time I took a -4 ever since playing this game. I played this game since Puyol was a defender, right? So, I've never, ever taken a minus before. But, here the madness. So, I have 2 free transfers. So, get rid of Uno, Dos, and Tres, or get rid of Calvert, Bernardo, Mount, and Reece James. Try my utmost to bring in the KDB and Dele Alli. I'll bring in either Digne or Robbo and bring in the Burnley striker. Now, with that, I'll play 4-5-1 and I'll put the Burnley striker up top. Pookie is playing against Crystal Palace next, so I'll put Pookie in, put the Burnley striker on the bench. If he does anything and anyone doesn't play, no problem. And run that hard until maybe Now give me 26 is the double. I'll free hit in 26. Bring in Salah just for the Salah sake of it. If I did not bring in Robbo. So I'll have Robbo, Trent, Salah, and I'll captain Trent. I'm not captaining Salah, right? I'll captain one of the defenders. Pray that they get a clean sheet, and bam, points galore. Hopefully, now it's sounding great in theory, but as I say, this is my mad plan. And then go back to normal. The Liverpool, I think, don't play in 27, and then I'll think of Salah in 28 or 29. That is my crazy plan. What do you guys think, Dallas?
That's it's quite risky.
It is.
But that's I guess that's how you have fun with the game too. If you can take some of those risks and they pay off, then it's it can definitely be really good. And Trent actually isn't even a bad choice for that week. I think I mean, it's hard to go against Salah, but if there was a person who could outscore him that week, it's probably going to be Trent, just because he has the clean sheet ability and is always puts in those crosses and set pieces. So yeah, I think it's pretty decent. For me, I think I'm probably gonna chicken out and use my triple captain on Salah that week.
Right.
But for anyone who wants to go Trent over Salah, then I mean, I have no problems with that at all. I think that could work.
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm not recommending this, guys. I'm just telling you what I'm gonna do. Of course, the obvious thing, you bring in your salad, give me 23 and whatnot. But my gut, maybe I just need some, I don't know. Maybe I need a purge or something. But my gut is telling me that, don't touch him yet, don't bring him yet, leave him alone. Sankov, I know what I've told you this off air, but what do you think? Now you can tell him what you really feel on here. What do you think about that, man?
So there are two things. I personally have been thinking about Trent as well. Cannot say no because the odds would be massively towards Salah, right? Most of the people would be there. So and if you can take out something, by going differential, it makes sense. Considering the fact that Salah has come back playing 5-6 games, right? You never know, there might be a odd rest in that double game week, and that would definitely help my cause, right? Those are the factors that I am thinking. One thing I did read online, I think FPL Fraser, it was who shared it, or FPL Banger, I think, was whenever these two play and whenever Trent, outscores Salah, it is always by a couple of points. It's not by a huge margin. So while we are taking that risk, and assuming both start, that risk reward ratio might not be as high as we want it to. But of course, playing FPL for fun, you want to take risk like this, right? To have a bit of fun around it. Trent is a serious option, and if Dallas confirms it, then I would obviously think in the same way as well.
Yeah. But you think, Dallas, that Trent and Robbo will play both games?
Um, I think they could, but I guess I have more confidence in Trent playing both actually because he doesn't have a recognized backup, and Nico Williams. I think he actually went out on loan over the window, so there's not really much competition there. So I'm assuming he will. But Robertson, he has a legitimate backup who is really good in his own right, and with the games coming every few days, it's possible that Robertson might be rested against someone like Norwich so that he can be available and well rested for a team like Leeds who likes to press hard and be physical for about 90 minutes. And so Samikas could do a job against Norwich. And
don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. All right, because I'm free hitting, Don't tempt me,
So Robertson, I mean, his fitness is really good, so it's not like it's a done deal. But the next opponent after that is against Leeds, and we know how they are. They like to run all over the pitch, and with the game as Norwich the week before, he may just opt to rest Robertson to keep him fresh for that Leeds game, so that he's on his toes for that.
No, my next question. Now, see, this is why I like to have fans from different teams to give insight. So if forget Salah, if you had to recommend Dallas another attacking option for Liverpool to put all your eggs on for that game 26 double. Who else, Dallas? Who else? Forget Salah. Who else?
To captain for
Liverpool.
26?
For Liverpool, yeah, for Liverpool, for the double. Because it's a double.
I guess
Right?
it's hard.
Attacking wise, not Trent and them like midfield and forwards, I mean. Yeah, I know it's a hard one, but if you had to recommend one person, no strings attached. You won't kill you if you do wrong or right. Yeah, you have insurance and everything. You're safe, so we can't attack you if it goes wrong. But what? Who would?
If I had him, I might say Mane, and that is mainly because Jota has a able competitor with him for his position, and now that Firmino is back, I think Jota might still play a majority of the minutes, but with those games pretty close together, I wouldn't be surprised if he either came off the bench for one of those games or was rested, or it just depends what Klopp wants to do. But with Firmino back, it's kind of hard to think about Jota for starting both of them, even though it could happen. So if you had to pick another Liverpool attacker, probably Mane, because Diaz is there right now, and he was brought in as kind of the competitor for that spot. But he's going to take some time to get up to speed with the system. And he's probably going to play cup competitions and keep training. So Mane probably will start both of those games during 26. Not sure if Jota would. If he did, I'd probably say him. But without knowing if he will or not, I'm going to hold him because I have him. But I'm probably not going to captain him. I probably wouldn't recommend it either.
Just asking. So as we're talking about Captain Sanka, right? So for game week 24, right? What we should talk about that real quickly because people like to talk about captaincies and whatnot. So again, these are the fixtures here. Who are you thinking of captaining? Dallas and Sanka, open discussion. Who are we thinking about captaining for game week 24?
I'm thinking of going with Jota. That Liverpool game. I think he should be starting that game, and it is against Leicester, who definitely have been pretty bad. The other choice is Bowen, I guess, maybe from my team, or possibly Watkins. But I think Liverpool, just as a whole, like they're more trustworthy than those other teams. And Watford could have that little bit of a new manager bounce. I guess they've held Burnley scoreless so far, although I guess Burnley is a different caliber of attack than West Ham. But I don't know. I think Jota's the one I trust the most out of the players I have, even though there's a few other good matchups between West Ham and Villa.
Sanka, who are you captaining?
Kevin De Bruyne.
All right. Ooh, you didn't even win. Kevin De Bruyne, KDB. I love it. Well, once I bring him in, yes, I am captaining him as well. As I say, I am tempted by the whole Son thing, but it'll be way too mad to have too expensive to have Bernardo, KDB, and Son all at once. It's possible, but it'll be way too crazy. So yeah, I'll definitely captain. And what about vice captains? You have to have a safety net. Who's the vice captain of choice?
I think I'll put it on Bowen probably, just because he's been doing so well, and if Jota misses out, then I wouldn't mind if he had it, just because he's kind of been in form. He's looked good on the pitch. Watford, they could have that bounce, but it's kind of unknown how they'll be, which is why I'm not captaining him, but why I'd kind of be okay with putting the vice on him.
Sankalp, I need to disagree. Why? Why? I know you put it on Sankalp. I can talk for you, Sankalp. And you're gonna put it on Cancelo, like me. I'm gonna vice captain Cancelo, right? Sankalp?
For me, the initial idea was Cancelo, definitely.
I wasn't for a bit there, I guess we go back. Yeah, normally, so what I've been doing recently, Dallas, I've been vice captaining Cancelo, and it's
Yeah.
been working out. I mean, I get my captain didn't do anything, but thankfully, he even scoring points in case something happened. I got back
Yeah.
Sankalp. Yes, Sankalp. Explain the vice
So,
captaincy there.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, but I don't want to, go both the captain and vice captain on one match, especially with COVID and,
Right.
knowing Pep, you can never take that risk. So for me, the two names are actually Trent or Bowen. These are the two players that I think.
Mm,
Trent for me is someone I'm looking at as vice captain
right.
for now.
Fair enough, fair enough. I can't actually get it. That's a good shout. Right, so the game has resumed, and of course, we hoping that it stays nil-nil. Dallas, we
Yeah.
hoping. But I would like to see the new striker take some shots, beat some players. I want to see him rise for a corner. I want to see him in action. Just to get some confidence in me to bring him in. I really want to bring him in. I'm very, very, very. I just want to jump on the new guys and just see what they could do. If anyone, well, what's the price? I have to check the price for Ericsson. I would like, kind of, what's the price for Ericsson? Like what, 5 or something like that? Right?
5.5, right?
Yeah,
5.5.
oh, that's very tempting. Though. That's
Yeah.
very.
Yeah,
That's very
if
tempting.
he gets a consistent run and he's looking good again, then he could be an option at some point. We'll just have to. He's definitely a watch and wait, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if he is an option, that's a really nice price.
Yeah, brilliant. Before it rises, the price rises are ridiculous. Before the price rises, and of course, we have to also. What I like to do too, coming on to the end of the season, and if you guys do the same thing when you're playing, but I like to target the relegation zone because that is when teams throw the kitchen sink at it and you get your strikers scoring a few goals here and there. So I mean that's why I would have kept Pookie. And of course I'm looking maybe at Newcastle. Newcastle have to make a push for it now. They have to. Right? They have to make a push for it. It might be too late for them, but and some to coming out to the end, depending on how things go, if City are running away with the league and that's it, and they're gonna focus on Champions League, and then Pep starts to, roulette it, I will definitely drop all those assets and focus on um target those relegation zones. Do you all look at that or you all stick with the big boys? Do you all push with the upper echelons of the table or you all try to mix it up and go for some of the guys on the bottom as well?
I think for me, it probably depends on if the title is won already or not. Because I guess City's the favorites right now, but if it's still a close race between Liverpool and City, then I might be more open to keeping the bigger team players, just because I know that I can trust their attacks more. But if the title is won with like 7 or 8 matches to go, basically, or if they're like way ahead and it's not officially clinched, but it's likely to be clinched, then we know that Pep will probably focus more on Champions League, and so guys like Foden and maybe Cancelo, but feel like he's more integral. It's harder to replace him because he does so much. But guys like that, especially Foden, might not play as much in the league. So I'd probably be looking to other guys, maybe even Cornet in this game. Cornet is a good midfielder that will probably be key towards the end because Burnley's going to be fighting for that stay out of relegation.
Yeah.
So probably a mix of both. And more big guys if the title's not won is what I would say.
Yeah. Sanko, what do you think? You mix it up or you even study that? You're sticking with the big boys right through.
At some point of time, towards the end of the season, teams like City will start resting players, right? I trust Liverpool more. I think Klopp is consistent in the players that he picks, right? Very rarely, even towards the end, you expect him to bench these players. So I would go towards the bigger teams, but the teams that have something to do. For example, I know United will still be fighting for the Champions League, right? West Ham, Arsenal, they would still be in the race and they would be, fighting it out. Spurs would be there, right? So my idea would be to take out money from City and put into these teams rather, where I know there's much more consistency in returns.
Fair enough, fair enough. I'm taking that, taking that. So what I want to do really quickly as I have you guys on, as I have company. So what we normally do on the show, when we do the previous shows, we normally like to make a quick 11, right? So I call it all kind of things. So it depends. Somebody will say punt 11, I will say maybe a transfer 11 or the best 11, play the top performing 11, right? So well, like so, just for us to give so for Gaming 24, alright, so as a we could normally go with the mental 11, right? Because we pick any guys from off the top of our head who we think will perform best or the best transfers to bring in. Now, I think most people might do much transfers now because they're trying to hold the transfers for for game week for game week 24. So for game week 26, sorry, they're trying to keep their two free transfers in time. So what we could do, let me know what formation you think we should go with first, and then let's go with, let's say, the best players that should perform this game week. What are we feeling? Light in the back, 3-4-3, or what are you thinking?
I
Definitely
think at
not
the
three
back,
strikers. I feel like because they've been disappointing.
So 4-4-2.
But I'll probably go with three strikers this week, just because that's the best I have. But if I had to pick from scratch, I probably wouldn't. So let's see.
But it's just for game week 24. So let me see. Goalkeeper. Who do you think will be the best performing goalkeeper will be for game week 24?
What are the fixture lists again?
No,
Maybe I can
no
pull it up.
fixtures. No, that's the trick with this. It's a mental
Oh,
11, so no fixtures. Off the top of
okay.
your head. That's the trick with it.
All right, all right. Let's see. Can you pick more than three from one team?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But no big boys though. Like we don't put the big names on this. We just because the name, if you don't have Cancelo, Trent, those guys don't make sense. We pick different names. But yeah, you can pick three.
Okay. Well, nobody. He's a big name, but nobody has him in goal. Ederson.
All right, fine, fine. You want to go ahead? Listen. You agree with that, Sankal? You agree with that?
yeah, definitely.
All right, so you agree. Right, has to be unanimous. All right. Give my defender now. Talk to him.
Matty
Yep.
Cash.
Cash. All right, your boy Cash.
I can't leave him out.
Sankal, talk to me.
Trent, but yeah, we are going for
No.
something different
Yeah,
here.
no trend. Yeah, no trend. Yeah, no trend.
Okay, okay. If I
Oh
have to go
boy.
with
Oh
someone,
boy.
I would go with Tierney.
All right. Woo. That's very different. Wow. All right, Tierney. And one last defender.
Hmm.
And no, I don't usually help. I just, put in the players. That's the trick. I don't help.
You could go with like Ait maybe.
All right. No, actually, I don't want to burst the ignorant bubble, but Sais will be back from AFCON. But he mightn't play. So, yeah, I don't want to burst the bubble. Sais is back. Right. Mids. Who we have in the midfield?
Ramsey.
From Aston Villa?
Yep, yep.
All right, all right, all right. I like that pick. That's a nice pick. I like that. Yeah, he has been quietly doing his thing.
I guess
Yeah.
if you wanted to go Villa again, Buendia has been actually flying under the radar, just because of Coutinho and Watkins kind of stealing a lot of the spotlight.
All right, Buendia, you agree with us, Uncle Buendia?
Definitely, definitely. I think Leeds match is a not match where you can target the Aston Villa midfielders. Buendia, Coutinho, Ramsey. I think they all have a good chance. running behind.
Okay, solid. Two more. Don't forget we have some very tasty fixtures. I can't remind you, but some very
There's if he plays, Olise is looking good.
Ooh, all right, all right. I like that Lisa shot. What about the new Everton players? Anybody at all or nah, not yet?
I would take a punt on Rashford.
Oh, okay. How they have Rashford? They have Rashford as a midfielder in this game. Yeah, I think so. I was saying that one was a striker. All right, strikers time. Talk to me.
I think Richarlison's a striker in FPL, right?
Richarlison.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richarlison is a striker. Right, I like that show. This one, I just hope he behaves and keeps his temperament. You know his temperament. He likes to get yellow cards. You're stumped. You're stumped. Don't forget, great games. Great games. Nobody's saying Pookie. I'm just joking.
Edward for me.
Ah, but it took long, Sanka. It took long. Edward. That's a good shot. And last but certainly not least, what about Daka or Nak?
You could do like Saint Maximin.
All right, I like that. I'll go with Saint Maximin. I like that. I like Saint Maximin. I think that's a good shot. All right, so there we go, guys. That's our mental level. Let me run it through quickly. So Edison, Cash, Tierney, Aid, Nori, Rashford, Olise, Ben, Buendia, Ramsey, Saint Maximin, Edward, and Chelsea. I think those are great shots. I like those shots. Right? So nothing much to talk about this game. Shocker. Anybody surprised by the score so far?
I guess a little bit, only because I was kind of expecting Burnley to maybe score because I don't think Aston. I think I saw a crazy stat like Watford haven't kept a clean sheet in the Premier League since under their last 6 managers or something crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the past 6 managers that were at the club, they were either, I guess, not. They were in the championship, or they just didn't keep a clean sheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting maybe a Burnley goal, especially with the Veghorst type and Cornet returning. I was thinking maybe that could happen, but yeah, I guess I'm not too surprised at the same time because Roy Hodgson's a more defensive guy.
Yeah, he will definitely get you those clean sheets, but clean sheets don't bring necessarily bring you points, right? They need to get some goals. They need to score some goals. Because I mean, this game is very, very important. If Burnley win, no, yeah, if Burnley win, drag what Norwich right back down, and then Burnley have what like 10 games in hand. So if Burnley need to start, Burnley need to start with it games. Burnley are struggling right now. Size, right? So what about Aussie Lyman? What about game week 25? Does that entice you? We're not running through all the games, but just as a double fixture, a double game week, are you all going to bank? You're going to bring in any monument for those games? What's your plans? Because I know you're already thinking about Salah quite in 26, but we can't forget 25. You're thinking of Mope, Trossard, you're thinking of Bruno, you're thinking of CR7, you're thinking of De Gea, probably again. I know he was the popular choice of the last game week, double game week that man you had. What you're thinking? I'll start with you, Dallas.
Yeah, so I have 3 guys that are going to be doubling that week. I have Ronaldo, I have Dalot, and I have Cucurella. And so I probably won't bring in any more because I think I'm satisfied with those 3. I guess like Bruno wouldn't be like a bad option. It's just that I don't think it would work for my team. I don't think I have the funds to get to him, and I think longer term, I think there's other players that I'd want. I think based on how the FA Cup results go this week, there's a few transfers I might make in 25 because I need to burn a transfer, otherwise I lose it. Since I'd be carrying more than 2 free transfers and can't really do that. And so what I'm looking at now is if Aston Villa do get a double in game week 27, I'm actually thinking Foden to Coutinho, and just to set up for that double later on. And I guess that's dependent on whether I think Foden will play, though. Because that game is against Norwich, and if Foden's going to play, it's going to be hard for me to want to take him out. Even though Norwich have gotten a little bit better, it is City at the same time. And so,
To be fair,
yeah. So a lot of it is still up in the air for me, depending on if Aston Villa gets a double announced and if Foden is expected to play or not. Because right now I'm not entirely sure what I'll do yet.
Now, Sanka, it's a bit hard. It's a bit tougher for you because you are wildcard. And when someone is wildcarded, you have to consider at least 3 game weeks ahead. At least. You're not just going to wildcard for game week 24, right? And then, oh, shucks, I didn't. So I know you have to be considering at least 25, at least game week 25. So what's the game plan there? Are you, now, I'm just going to throw them out there out to you. Are you going to wildcard now? Bring in some key players for 25 and then bench who's in 25? What do you think? So what's the plan there? What's the plan?
Currently, I have three: Bruno, Deia, and Dallo.
Right.
I don't want to add on to it because all these players, both Brentford, both Brighton and United, don't have good fixtures in the long run. So the idea for me is to continue with. They were already there in my team. I'll just continue with them, and then look to dump at least two of them. When it comes to the double game week, right? Bruno to, I think, fund a Salah move, and perhaps Dallo. Look for a cheaper defense, someone who can play. That is the idea for now.
All right. So you're not going to bank, as I say, you're not going to try and get any Brighton. You're sticking with the Manu. All right. So you're thinking Manu will. So are you confident Manu will beat Brighton, or they will? Let's now bring up that picture one more time real quickly. So they will not beat Brighton. Sorry, but you think that they will? So Manu will beat Southampton, draw Brighton, or beat Southampton and beat Brighton. Because I am very much I'm very much tempted to bring in Mopey because Brighton are playing Watford. And Watford not looking too hot. I know what you think about that.
If you ask me today, I think they have been doing well, right? They're sitting back and they're working on the counters, right? Brighton is not something that I want to, pursue mostly because of the way they. First of all, if I pick someone now, they are blanking this week, right? So I have to take a player, sit back on him. Next week it's a double game week, but then again the fixtures are not exactly, very strong.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
yeah, you cannot always target, teams like Watford or even Norwich, right? They are showing that they have started building a bit of muscle, right? So that is making things a bit difficult for me to, select someone like Cucurella or even a Mope. For me, Mope is a good shout up front, but you sometimes he gets benched as well. That makes things difficult.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Yeah, so she's a lot to think about. Not so simple like people. It's really not that simple. There's a lot to think about, a lot to strategize. Dallas, I haven't heard you talk about the chip strategy at all. What are you thinking, bro? Because our friend is using his wild card. I told you when I might use my stuff. Well, what you thinking? I find it quiet, man. When you going to start thinking about do you still have everything? Do you have the 2 free hits? Do you have your bench boost? Yes, well of course you have the wild card. Do you have the 2 free hits still?
No, I only have 1 free hit. I used mine a while back when COVID was happening the most, and basically almost all my team wasn't playing, and so then I kind of just used it. I think there were only like 3 or 4 matches in that week as a result, and sometimes that doesn't work out when you're so consolidated, but this time it kind of did work out for me. Got a huge boost from that. So I'm glad I used that one. That's actually the only chip I don't have. I still have wild card and triple captain, bench boost, and the other free hit. So I'm thinking triple captain Salah in 26, and right now I'm thinking free hit in game week 30 with the big blanks for the FA Cup. But if a few other FA Cup results kind of end up in shocks, then I may just save my free hit for an even later game week if it turns out that we have like a really nice double in the future. Maybe use a free hit to load up on some double game week players after 30. But I think that one's still kind of up in the air with the free hit. It's just I'm leaning towards free hit in 30, but not set on it. And then I might wild card like around 31 or so. It's my tentative plan because I think we'll know more about the doubles around that time. I follow Ben Krellin on Twitter, and he's kind of been saying the same thing. We'll kind of know more about the end of the season doubles as we get farther in the FA Cup competition, and who's knocked out and who is able to be scheduled on what weekend. And so, yeah, I guess maybe bench boost in game week 36, because I heard that Ben Krellin said that would be a pretty big double game week, and so you would probably have a lot of doublers either on your bench or in your squad, and you probably wouldn't have to do major surgery to your squad to get them. And so I think I'll do my bench boost in 36. So I guess wild card around 30, 31, triple captain 26, bench boost 36, free hit maybe 30, but that's what I'm thinking now.
All right, solid. I love Vex with that. That's uncle. That's a solid plan. I mean, but maybe we should triple captain Trent in 26 as well, Sankap, you know. The thing is, even if Salah scores 1 goal in the first game, then scores another goal in Norwich, all we need, Sankap, is Trent to get 2 clean sheets in those games. That's all we need, you know. An assist, a free kick. That's all we need. He gets a goal or assist, an assist in both games and a clean sheet, and that's it. Salah can do whatever he wants. That's all we need. And maybe 2 bonus points, Sankal, or being too greedy there? Are being greedy?
We definitely need some bonus.
Oh, good. Right. I wonder if the bonus points out yet for this game. I like to watch how they calculate the bonus points for games like this, you know, because it's so tough. I know they look at maybe like defensive clearances and stuff like that. Man, nothing up as yet for them. But this game, so far, I think Pope has 2 bonus points, Camaro on 3, and Firmino on 2. Yeah, I know Pope was a little busy. So that's what size. I really was hoping that this game would have been like a spectacle of fireworks because, as I said, this is a very important game. Unlike the Norwich-Watford, that was a good game. Right? We got a lot of goals with a lot of action. I guess both teams just being cautious and don't want to lose, but they have to win.
Yeah.
They can't be lying back like this.
Yeah, Burnley just tried to attack, but
Counter.
Weghorst got a shot off and it was blocked over the goal.
It was good to see him do something.
Yeah.
If you guys are also interested as well, I don't know if you all are playing the Afghan fantasy. Burkina Faso playing Cameroon right now. right? We know we covering the AFCON. And of course, it will hurt everyone's hearts to know that Abu Bakr had been rested. So he's on the bench, but he's not playing. So he might come on. I did not captain him. I captain Manny. So we will see how that turns out. So yeah, John, that's a little update there. So 0-0 Burkina Faso, Cameroon in the third place playoff there. And of course, still 0-0 here in Burnley, Watford. I mean, good for us. Good for us. It won't kill our rank too much. I'll take 2 points for King. That's fine. 2 points won't kill us too much. Too much. Right? It won't
He
kill
has
us
one
too
yellow
much.
card. Yeah.
Ah, right. One. No one who captain him. People captain him, so they will get the 2 points. People captain him. So yeah, 1 point. I forgot about that. Thank you, Sankal. I keep forgetting about that. Thank you so much. But it's hard to play in that Burnley rain too. I think that's the main problem. That Burnley rain is a different type of rain. Turf more is different. Oh wow, the breeze is blowing. The breeze taking the corner short. Oh my goodness.
I think King could use a rest right about now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I definitely think so. I agree with you.
Maybe let guys like João Pedro get their limelight.
Let them come on and get something. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, Burnley on the break. All right, let's see. Fast break. Ooh, nice ball across. Come, Connie. Shoot from there. Shoot. Oh, nice, beautiful save from Foster there. All right. So the game heating up. I guess they're hearing us. They know that somebody has to score at some point. Once it's not King. Sankar, you're Foster.
Sorry?
You're Foster, correct?
First?
You're Foster. You have Ben Foster on your team, correct? Ben Foster.
Yeah, I do.
Well, okay. Well, we'll root for you. Right? We'll root for you. You can get a clean sheet. But that was a nice shot from Corne, though. Ooh.
Yeah, I just saw it.
So, guys, please don't forget we have a lot of content coming up for you all, and we had some nice content this week. We had a mental health episode, right, with sport and exercise psychologist Alexandria Olton. It was a really nice episode, and Sankalpan and Dallas, she gave us an exercise that we could do, right? It's called 3-2-1. It sounds like a football formation minus a few players. And it was basically so you know when, especially Dallas, right? I know Dallas just pull out your hair, you can't talk to your girlfriend for 2 days at least, or a few hours, you know, it's be stressed out, you don't want to drink, you don't want to eat, right? With certain, I just played, right? But you know when certain players don't perform. I know Sandkalp, no one can talk to you, right? Sandkalp, especially imagine Sandkalp, you're an Arsenal fan, and then your players that they bring in the FPL team don't bring in points. Whew! Stress, right? So she was saying, you know, take 3 positives from your decision, take 2 lessons to going forward, and then make 1 decision from that, you know? So it's a great way to sit down and reflect on it and try, and then always remember it's just a game, right, Dallas? We have to remind our viewers it's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that brought in Dennis and Captain Dennis, that was not a bad decision. Given all the stats, as you rightfully said, Dallas, everyone who would have watched all about FPL, that would watch Let's Talk FPL, that will watch all the pundits, all these Twitter spaces, right? They would have recommended, hey, there are all these the 11s, the predicted 11s. Dennis was a good idea, right? People, I'm trying my best to push home to people, you know, don't be disheartened when a decision doesn't go your way, right? That's just how it is, right? Well, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. I went chasing Calvert-Lewin. I captained him the first day. I will never forget that feeling when he got the penalty. He didn't take it yet. He got the penalty. I was like, yes, points. Really? I was ready. I would like to you guys. I was standing up on my chair like, yes, let's go. And then I said, all right, no problem. He was I took the positive out of that. I know he was looking good. I wasn't upset. But it was a double game week. So I tackled the double game week with Calvert-Lewin. That was my plan. It didn't work out. We move on. Right? So you can't, you know, and now that necessarily might not have been a good decision. But in terms of him, I went for him because, you know, I was telling myself he could get the coach could get a rise out of him. He's back. He is a good goal scorer. He's good on penalties. But again, going back to the old Dennis thing, or going back to anybody that goes for Ronaldo in double game weeks, I wouldn't do that. But again, based on all the stats, based on who he is, based on the teams that are playing, based on the opponents, those are good decisions. So we try to always encourage our viewers and anyone on Twitter and Instagram, hey, don't be too hard on yourself. What, Sankal, when things don't go your way, what's your method? How do you de-stress and how do you get back on the horse, for the next game week?
Yeah, I think it's important to take a break. I just close the app. I ensure that I just don't open that app again. I try to read a book, something that I have been doing prior to the game week. I would try to continue that. I think 2 to 3 days is the minimum break that I take before get going back to my analysis, right, and plannings for the next game week. I think that break is always needed. You always need a breather before you sit back in.
Now, for you, Sankal, it's a bit different to Dallas and myself because you write articles, right? You write articles for all about FPL. So how have you? I'm sure how do you deal with people jumping in the DM saying, "Hey, that was a bad decision. Why did you say that?" I'm sure you get that a lot, Sankal. How do you deal with? Because that's not fair on you, right? You did your homework because you're doing your homework right now as you're with us. I know you're paying attention, right? And you're using the wildcard also as research because you're trying to look for the best players as well to predict for the draft. So how do you deal with that when people want to jump in your DMs and say, "Sankal, why you told me to pick this player?" How do you defend yourself in terms of like, or do you say, "Well, sorry, you raise your hand," but how do you deal with it when you finish talking with them? How does that impact you?
Block.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And Dallas, when I tell you something, or when my pundits on my show come on, or when you yourself, when you tell, I show you and your mates come together and you all plan and plot, and then something doesn't go right. I know you proposed a really good question to me the other day with the brochure scenario, and you wanted to bring in brochure and what. All right, I remember the question. So sometimes when you go for these punts and you try something new and it doesn't work out right away, are you a patient player, Dallas? So let's say, I'm just saying you bring in brochure, he doesn't score this game week. Do you then say, you know what, I'll give him 2 more game weeks. I'm not gonna just get rid of him. Let me go get Harrison. Harrison scored a flash in the pan hat trick this game week. Let me go for him. Do you chase points or do you tell yourself, you know what? Nope, just a game. I'll keep him for a few games. How do you cope with that side of it?
Yeah, I usually like to bring in a player for a few game weeks if I can. If it's like an injury or COVID, I might take them out right away. Though I think that's the only scenario where I would, because I think I got Fornals in for West Ham after he had done really well. He was starting to do really well, and I transferred him in, and then I think an hour before kickoff, we found out that he had COVID, and it was like, oh, we didn't know that before.
Yeah.
So then I think I kind of just took him out because I knew he wouldn't be back for a few weeks anyway, and there's other players that I could use, but if it's somebody who just blanked, and they're kind of nailed for the upcoming games, then I'd be fine just keeping them.
Yeah. I could have sworn I just saw who's that Cucho handball in the box there. I could have sworn.
He did, yeah.
I could have sworn. I don't know if I'm tired and this. I could have sworn.
He did do that.
Yeah, he tried a Maradona.
If it was on the other end, it would have been a penalty. But
yeah. He did a Luis Suarez there.
He did a Duncan Watmore.
Oh wow!
Do you remember from yesterday?
Yesterday.
The handball assist.
And people were saying no. A lot of people were saying no on Twitter. I was like, nah, you're all crazy.
Yeah. It was definitely handball. It's just that the rule, I think it's the rule that kind of is what allowed it to stand. Because I guess the rule is that if you don't get a goal scoring touch off of your next touch after the handball, which he didn't, I guess he passed it to the striker.
Yeah. And it wasn't on like this ain't intentional versus intentional, yeah, and then accidental and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I got excited. I thought King was coming off. Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah. I think he looks tired though.
Yeah. 8 more minutes to go, guys. Maybe what? A minute extra time. It was that, meh. It wasn't a terrible game, but it just wasn't nothing. Both teams trying their best to just protect their goal. Not really adventurous, not doing anything else.
Yeah, it was the only Premier League game this weekend, so we had high hopes, but
yeah.
they
It's
crushed
the hope
us.
that kills you.
any
It's the hope
any
that
last
kills
shred of hope, I've just lost it.
Yeah. Lost. I mean, it's better than King scoring a hat trick. Let's look at the positive
Yeah,
side.
that's actually
Right?
I think I need to look at it from that
Yes,
angle.
perspective. Yes, Dallas. Always look at it from the positive side. I know. I'm shocked too. Burnley haven't lumped any long balls in the box or nothing. I'm really shocked. They're not playing their usual way.
Yeah, and Veghorst is taller than Wood, so he'd be able to
Yeah.
get there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was looking for him on some corners or something, but
Yeah.
nothing. It's really shocking. Really, really, really shocking.
Yeah.
Right. So far the bonus points have switched now. So this is good news for Sandkalp. So Sandkalp Foster is on 2 bonus points for now. So
That's good.
Camera's on 3. So Firmino, Samir, Foster, and Pope are all on 2 bonus points so far as it stands. Right. I usually use a new PLA.net as my site to get all the. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that site, but that's where that's what I use to get all my lives. They're normally on the button. Oh wow, Pope almost got caught out there. And I think that's another edge that Burnley have. Pope is back, and I think Pope is my favorite Premier League goalkeeper for ages. When he got injured, I was really sad. But when playing FPL since whenever, as I said, when Pope came in, I had Pope as my bench keeper, and then when he eventually became the number 1 keeper for Burnley, and Burnley were hot when they had Sam Vokes and those guys, I had Pope in my team, and sometimes you will get the odd penalty save. So yeah, cleverly had a decent chance here. Just talking about Pope, right? Pope probably on a decent amount of saves right now. Let me see. Nice little save there from Pope for sure.
Yeah.
So but Pope looking like a good asset, for double game weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're on a free hit, why not?
Was that Sanka?
If you're on a free hit, if you're
Yeah. When I'm free, it's in 26. Yeah. Why not?
Why?
I think Burnley's fixtures aren't as good until after 30, if I remember correctly. And so I think a lot of their doubles might actually be scheduled around then anyway. So then Pope is someone who I might get on wild card when I eventually do down the line. He's definitely someone to consider, I think.
I'm watching now the Spurs double up. I know you'll mention that already as we talking double ups. Not bad, Arsenal double up. Arsenal playing Brentford and Wolves, but I'm afraid of Brentford for obvious reasons. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah,
Come on, guys.
I like Martinelli against Brentford.
For sure.
Wolves,
Yeah, I'm keeping him.
Wolves is I'm not sure how he'll do, but the Brentford game is probably good enough to say, you know what, he has a decent chance of at least scoring a few.
Yeah. I fully agree with you. 1,000%. Oh, look at that rain. That rain is teeming down. My word. 4 more minutes to go again. Guys, thanks so much for sticking with me. I didn't expect you to stay so long, but thanks so much. I appreciate the company. Thank you so much, guys, right? We'll wrap up as soon as the game ends. But thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Dallas and Sankalp. Sankalp, as we wind it down, show off now. Let the people know what you do, who you write for, how to find you. Right? And talk to us now.
Sure. I'm Sankalp. My Twitter page is Understanding Football. The idea is to write a bit about football, what I think, what my understanding is, and engage with people, take their understandings as well, learn a bit more about the game, right? I've been playing this game I think for the last 3 seasons, but continuously. First season went well. I think I was around 1.6 lakhs, 164K. Last season didn't go as well. I think it was around 300K. Currently, I'm around 15K. So doing well this season. And, fingers crossed, I just want to, stay in a similar place. The target for me was 20K. So far, I'm on target.
Yeah.
Uh, I write regularly for All About FPL as much as I can, balancing a job and everything. But I write for them, and this week I'm planning to write one for Wildcard. What can be a possible strategy for anyone who's looking to wildcard.
Ooh, Coney had a decent little free kick there, right? And Dallas talk to us where they could find you if you want them to find you, and of course your pedigree and any other fantasy sports that you dabble in by chance. I know there's one you dabble in, but let them know.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at FPL_Dallas, and I've actually, this is only my second season actually playing FPL.
Okay.
First season on FPL Twitter actually. Last year I was about 135K. So without being on Twitter, I was happy with that.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
But then this season I'm like, I was 50K a few weeks ago, but then I kind of dipped a little bit. A few things didn't go my way, including the Dennis captain. But I'm hoping to climb the ranks again. And I think I'm set up nicely for some of the doubles coming up with some of my players. And then as far as other fantasy sports go, I do also do fantasy NFL because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I have a league with a lot of my friends, and I just won that one not too long ago, so I'm pretty
nice
happy
one.
about that.
Yeah, nice one. I'm glad you mentioned that, Dallas, because I mean I was going to talk to you about this at some point in time on Twitter when I DM you, but I want some help with the NFL because we want to start doing NFL and NBA and all those other, because we want to. Cause that's why you don't see my name as FPL anything. It's Fantasy Pavilion. Right? We're trying to cover all fantasy. That's why we do cricket, anything. We're trying to cover anything that's a fantasy. So I want to lean on you. I try to watch because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never watched a full game of NFL in my life. Never. Right? I will just watch a few scores, keep up with who's up to date. I only because I follow Atlanta Hawks basketball team. I was following the Atlanta Hawks NFL team, but I was told that's not a good idea. But I want to start gradually getting into it first. So I'll be harassing you a little bit, asking you for tips. So how to, maybe we could do when the next season starts. We do our opening show on it. And we get some advice. How to pick, how to go about it, because I know nothing. But eventually, I want to get into that because I know that's where everything started. I think NFL fantasy is what would have started most of the other sports doing fantasy, right? NFL was the first one. And it's the biggest one. That's the one with a lot of money and right, the most prized one. So I definitely want to, if that's something you'll be interested in, I'll definitely want to pick your brain on that at some point in time, and let's get that going. Yeah,
I think so. There's a lot of cool people on Twitter I follow for fantasy NFL content, and for me, I guess a quick tip on that is there's a lot of positions that kind of go a little bit neglected or under the radar for fantasy NFL, like the kicker position. If you can kind of nail the kicker and rotate them based on their matchup, that usually produces some points.
Well, you see, there you go. All right. Yeah. So keep that right. I like that. Thanks so much. So we'll keep you in mind. I'll talk to you. We always talking to this. I'll talk to you. Yeah. 2 minutes of add-on time. Yeah, we in 1 minute already. Foster coming to take the free kick. Sorry, to see if he can do something here.
Let's see.
That's a terrible. Oh my word. That's a terrible free kick. Because imagine, son, if you got the assist. Woo!
Didn't Jose Sa get one?
Against Southampton. And there you have it, guys. The relegation derby, 0-0, nothing to talk about. Let me see how that affected me quickly. Must run to live FPL.net. Let's see how badly that affected me. So King would have been a killer with 1 point probably. That would be hilarious.
Some
All
people
right.
probably did have Foster.
Yeah. Like Sandkalp here. Yeah.
I don't think it's as damaging for people not to have Foster as it would have been if King had scored, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's fine. For
Yeah.
me,
I think
think.
yeah. So I still am on 170 something. I'll take that. All right, guys. So let's sign off so quickly again. So what I like to do before we go, I like my panel to give one solid piece of advice, right? So Sankar, you'll be familiar with this, right? You've been on the show already. So just a solid piece of FPL advice, Dallas, anything. Simplest thing, or what is something that you use or incorporate, something really simple. Go ahead now.
I guess I usually like to use a lot of apps to get underlying data. I like to use FOTMob, and I like to just look at the XG, where the players are taking the shots on the pitch. Are they more central? Are they more off to the side? Because I want them more in those central areas, taking most of their shots. So just there's a lot of good apps that you can use. Definitely FOTMob, SofaScore, even the website Understat has some good stats. So yeah, I think that's just a nice general piece.
Yeah, like that. Sankal, solid piece of advice.
Don't follow Twitter, bandwagons. Right? Use your own brain, use your own heart, and play the game like that.
Yeah, follow your gut. And of course, you all know my solid piece of advice. Please click that save button. Do not let your girlfriend or partner distract you, right? Please. And do not drink an FPL, right? Do not drink an FPL. Trust me, guys, right? Do not. Just before you go to the pub or the bar or your watering hole, pull up the app, double check, right? And always check us for Twitter, Instagram. We always try to retweet all the injury news, right? And of course, as I said, we have some great content coming up next week. Friday, I have Dr. Buffon coming on to the show, and we're going to have a nice and FPL convo about injuries. So he's going to break down what ACL is, when they say pull a groin, if it's really pulling a groin, right? Those terms, if they're correct, we're going to talk about all these different names, because that helps when we go on Premier League Injuries.com and we see the different terms next to the player. Sometimes we're not too sure, or sometimes the commentators say we don't know how long. Now, not everything is black and white, but some injuries have a certain time that they take to recover. Of course, depending on the player and whatnot. But we're just going to do a general cover of how serious some of these injuries could be, and just for us to understand the terminologies, so that when we hear the terms going around, we can be like, well, all right, that's all that means. So we're going to have a Dr. Buffon on next week, Friday, to break that down for us. Of course, AFCON tomorrow, I'll be live again doing a watch along for Senegal, Egypt. Who you back in Dallas? Mane or Salah?
I think Senegal's going to take it. They have a little bit too much.
I love it. I know Sankal back in Mane as well, right? I just joking, Zach. I just joking, but right. So, guys, I want to thank my great guest for staying. I didn't expect you guys to stay with me whole through. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your company. I want to thank Sankal, and of course, thank FPL Dallas. I'll have all their handles in the comments below, and of course, these are friendly guys, awesome to approach, and of course, look out for us soon again on another time. And of course, Sankal, we have some shows to come up as well, as always. We always have something to talk about Arsenal. So, guys, as usual, happy picking. Like, subscribe, share. We're on 93 subscribers, trying to get to 200. Thanks for your support. Thanks for love. We are out.